You don't need a textbook to learn English. Stories like this one help your brain pick up grammar and vocabulary naturally, the same way kids learn their first language. So if you're serious about improving your English but want to enjoy the journey too, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss a story. We share a new one every single day. Now, let's begin today's lesson through a story you won't forget. Luca had always dreamed of visiting Rome. The idea of walking through history, of standing where emperors once stood, made his heart race. He didn't come to the city with a guidebook or a long plan. He just wanted to feel the place, to wander, to discover. He arrived early in the morning, just as the sky began to shift from dark to light. Rome was waking up. The streets were still quiet, the cafes were still setting up, and the smell of fresh bread floated through the cool air. Luca walked from the small guest house where he was staying, past narrow alleys and tiny shops, until he reached the heart of the city. And there it was, the Colosseum, even more massive and beautiful than he had imagined. He stopped and stared. The great stone walls rose like mountains. The sun touched the edges, painting them gold. Even though there were already tourists nearby, the place still felt peaceful. Luca took a deep breath and smiled. He walked slowly, circling the ancient structure. Street performers were setting up nearby. People sold tiny statues, magnets, postcards. Others offered guided tours. Luca waved them off politely. He didn't want a schedule. He just wanted the moment. After a while, the sun rose higher and the warmth grew. The quiet morning had turned into a lively afternoon. Crowds had grown. There were people everywhere, laughing, taking pictures, buying things. Luca's legs began to feel tired. His throat felt dry. He realized he hadn't had anything to drink since he left the guest house. The sun was bright now. It was the kind of heat that made your shirt stick to your back and your thoughts slow down. Just then, he saw a small cart under a red umbrella. It wasn't a big stand, just a simple table with a juicer, a bowl full of oranges, and a man standing behind it. The oranges looked bright and perfect, like sunshine in fruit form. Next to the cart was a little sign. It said, "Fresh orange juice." Nothing more. No price. Luca didn't think much of it. He was thirsty. He needed something fresh. And the idea of cold orange juice under the Roman sun felt perfect. He walked up and smiled. The man nodded and grabbed a few oranges. He began to cut and squeeze them. Juice poured into a clear plastic cup. It looked golden, thick, and sweet. The man handed the cup to Luca with a short nod. Luca took a sip. It was amazing. Cold, fresh, full of flavor. The kind of juice that made you close your eyes and smile without meaning to. He took another sip, then reached for his wallet. He asked the price. The man held up both hands, showing fingers. Luca blinked. Surely he had seen wrong. He asked again just to be sure. The man repeated the gesture. Luca's smile faded. Still, he took out the money, a bit unsure. But it was already too late. The juice was in his hand, half gone. And he didn't feel like making a scene in the middle of the crowd. He handed the bills over, and the man gave a quick nod. Luca walked away slowly, sipping what was now the most expensive juice he had ever had in his life. He sat down on a stone bench, just far enough from the cart to not feel awkward. He looked around. People passed by, laughing, taking selfies, chasing pigeons. He looked at his almost empty cup. It really was good juice. But was it worth it? Maybe not. But then again, maybe it was just part of the experience. He laughed quietly to himself. He had come to Rome for adventure, after all. And adventures didn't always come cheap. He watched as another tourist walked up to the same cart. The same thing happened. The oranges, the juicing, the hand signs. The same wide-eyed reaction. Luca wasn't the only one. Still, something about it didn't feel right. He finished the juice, tossed the cup in a nearby bin, and stood up. He decided to take a different route back. Not through the main road, but through the smaller streets behind the Colosseum. These streets were quieter, more relaxed. He walked past art shops, bookstores, and hidden cafes. In one corner, he saw a small market. Locals were chatting, buying vegetables, tasting cheese. There was another juice stand there. No tourists around it. Just regular people. A woman stood behind the table. Her cart was filled with oranges, lemons, and apples. Luca watched as she served a glass to a customer. The person smiled, handed over a few coins, and walked away with a full cup. No tricks. No hand signs. Luca smiled. He walked past without buying anything. His thirst was already gone, and his wallet was a little lighter. But his mind was full. Full of the city, full of stories, full of lessons. Sometimes, the biggest stories come from the smallest moments, a cup of juice, a quick decision, a surprise. That evening, back at the guest house, Lucas sat near the window. The city buzzed softly outside. Lights began to glow, and the sky turned orange and purple. He thought about the Colosseum, about the juice, about the man under the red umbrella. He wasn't angry. Not really. Because now he had a story. A true Roman experience. He wrote in his journal, not about the cost, but about the feeling. The feeling of standing in history, of walking through sunlit streets, of learning, not just about the city, but about himself. Lucas stayed in Rome for a few more days. He visited museums, churches, gardens. He ate pasta in tiny restaurants, drank coffee in quiet corners, and learned a few Italian phrases from friendly strangers. He never bought juice from a street cart again. But every time he saw oranges, he smiled. Because sometimes you pay for more than just the drink. You pay for the lesson, for the memory, for the story. And those things stay with you long after the juice is gone. And that's the power of stories. You followed Luca through the streets of Rome, felt the heat of the day, and tasted the juice right with him. While you were enjoying the adventure, your brain was learning. Vocabulary, sentence flow, real English in real situations, all without stress. If you enjoyed this journey, please leave a comment. What would you do if you paid that much for juice? And don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and come back tomorrow. We've got a brand new story every day.